Well, I gotta keep a brand going. In December 2023, thanks to an influx of gift card balance from having a birthday and Christmas right next to each other, I decided to spoil myself and get some things on my radar that were always there, but never given the incentive to take up the offer. Luckily, they were both on sale before the year ended, and I managed to snag them. The first was a Bayonetta 2 amiibo, and I don't really need to explain why I wanted that. The second is why this video exists in the first place. The 2013 Gillen McKelvey Wilson run of the Young Avengers. A weird place to start, I admit, but it's where I began. And I loved it. Comics, specifically superhero comics, have always been in my peripheral. I had a dad who loved Spider-Man and Batman. I was a kid that grew up with the MCU. My senior year of high school had Smash Ultimate, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Endgame within months of each other. Hell, the only reason I even came to know about the wider Marvel Universe was because of a stupid dog. It was always there, but I never wanted it. What also didn't help was that comics were only sold at comic book shops. You have to actively want to look at one to even go there. Well, when you're not scalping all the Pokemon cards. I'll get to you later. I spent the first few days of 2024 taking my time reading what was on the page, and I slowly fell in love with it. In the age of modern media, especially YouTube, you can easily gain a synopsis of the main plot with just a wiki search or video on a specific run. You get all the same information, but you don't experience it yourself. You don't hear the characters' voices. You don't hang on their words. Any understanding is just surface level. Now, this could be me understanding the effort taken to put into a creative work, as I have a book in the works, but really, it's that chance at immersion that came to keep my interest. Since then, I have effectively exploded with getting new books to read and are still in the process of. Today, I wanted to share with you my experiences reading a few from my selection. You ready? The only mom I ever knew got buried alive in front of me. And for the last year, I've been stroking your hair and saying it's going to be okay. And you know why? You're all I have left. And that's enough. I know I'm lucky, but you're so scared of yourself, it breaks my heart. I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life in the phone booth. I'm not living a lie. Billy, I fell in love with a superhero. As I said before, this was my first run I actually read myself on my own time, and, well, I don't know what it was, but it just felt right. Seeing these characters made me feel warm inside. Knowing that they weren't afraid of expressing themselves, being unabashedly chaotic and fun, I guess that's what stuck with me. Being true to yourself is kind of a thing I like. This run is mostly known for its effect on the wider Marvel Universe, giving Billy the big power-up into becoming the Demiurge, but people are just so focused on power that the person using it gets forgotten. Billy himself struggles with what he can and can't do, even believing everything in his life was all made up by him. When you have love in your life, it's hard to come to terms with it, thinking that you actually even deserve it. Sometimes you need to be reminded just how much they care for you. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, this book is fruity as all hell. I mean, just look at the cast. When glancing, you can see which tree they fell from. Speaking of the cast, America Chavez. This run sets up her friendship with Kate later down the line, and by God, I was surprised. She actually has a character. She's actively beefing with Loki and will dropkick him if given the opportunity. Queen behavior, honestly. One of the other things that caught my attention was the song list at the back of the book. The creative team went out and got an entire playlist. Definitely worth listening to after the read to see where the mindset was during the process. I mean, MCR, Bowie, and Janelle Monáe? Say no more. It's 2013 to the core. You can't say it isn't. Definitely worth looking into if you can pick it up. You've made it crystal clear you're not afraid to stand up for what you believe, and tonight you show me that you'll keep standing, no matter what. Clint, I can't accept this. The Avengers have always been about tradition, Kate. About unity, family, about legacy. I know, because I got to experience that firsthand. I was one of the first Avengers people didn't believe in, doubted, even despised a little. Now it's your turn. We'll be here for you, kids. Go out, fight hard, screw up, save the world a few times. We have your back. Just keep taking the shots, okay? This is just... Thanks, Hawkeye. As the year went on, I took a few more trips to the local comic store. It was months, years before stepping in it again. And now I could actually understand the appeal of the books. For my time there, I managed to pick up the 2015 Secret Wars book on the clearance shelf. This was the event people could stop raving about online. The incursions, Battle World, God Emperor Doom. It was all fascinating and a good read. I then got a Kate Bishop collection that included issues of the 2018 West Coast Avengers run, and her appearance in the War of the Realms from a year later. This is the same book that I showed off in my previous video on Jeff, so if you're looking for his first appearance, look for this collection specifically. As my collection grew, I knew I wanted to get the first run of the Young Avengers. I put it in my wish list almost immediately after reading the 2013 run. Why I didn't get it immediately? Ugh. Yeah, that slowed it down on the priority list. Funny enough, it wasn't until the end of the year that I would get my hands on it. Black Friday, to be specific. It was a Christmas gift to myself. Along with the same day finding a Bayonetta 1 figure at a retro game store. Poetic, right? Anyway, this is the Heinberg and Chung Young Avengers Omnibus. And yeah, it'd be big. I'll immediately get this out of the way. Do not purchase these unless you are devoted to the characters, or get them on sale. They are just as much collector's items as they are reading material. I mean, you could do damage with this thing. Anywho, with the year closing, I got to see how the team first formed. How Eli was insistent on proving himself, how Cassie wanted to remember her father, and how Nate would end up standing on opposite sides to the team he found. The Young Avengers came at a time where the Avengers as the world knew them stopped existing. House of M effectively left a mark on the universe that took almost 20 years to start healing from. These were the ones who stepped up. And they did a damn good job. Included in the book is the first run, along with multiple solo issues on each of the cast, crossovers with the Runaways during Civil War, and then Children's Crusade, the one most are familiar with. Getting to see the cast as they first came to be, getting their bearings, and coming to be the epilogue on the harshest reality check of the canon. The weight on their shoulders. That's immense for kids with a few issues to their name. It's only now that they have come into public consciousness. Be it the nature of the book or something else, it felt steeped within the time it was in. It's as 2000s as it gets, and in some instances, some of it hasn't aged well. But you do need to consider how it was back then. The book's audience was the newer generation at the time. These were the kids that saw the cheesy radness of the 90s as myth and took it to heart, creating that post-Y2K, Fruitiger Aero Metro punk look that became synonymous with it. And what is the new craze of nostalgia? Particularly those who see SA2 as a cultural plinth, which it is. Overall, it is a solid book, gigantic in scale, but it holds over half a decade worth of material. Hard to find material nowadays, but if your wallet is able to find a good sale, pick it up. And why are they watching your apartment with a machine gun? I don't know. Maybe I know. Russians, maybe. Hard to tell. One guy... Okay. You know how I got all that money from my brother? I bought this building, and... You know what? Never mind. Here. Well, there you go, Clint Barton. You're officially divorced. Happy Valentine's Day. Ugh, really? That today? All day? Today sucks. I'm going back to bed. Clint Barton, what on earth have you gotten yourself into? Clint Barton, the punching bag of Marvel's roster, has absolutely one of the best runs I've seen. Yeah, the Fractionaja run delivers on the hype. There's a reason people can't stop talking about it. And that reason reframes how Clint is seen. He has depression. No, I'm serious. One of the quirks you immediately see is him falling asleep. Often. Not because he is tired, but because why would he do anything else? Russian mobs are after his apartment building, his work-life balance is trying to kill him, and has, and the only person who sees the genuine good in him is getting tired of how self-destructive his behavior is. In most media, he's depicted as the less serious type, usually has the best lines, and a huge ego. It's a mask. Immediately, I clock that. His heart is always in the right place, but the minute they get too close, they keep dying. It's too much. Also, he's divorced. Yeah, people forget that. Mockingbird, Bobby Morse, she's never even brought up in conversation anymore. She got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's really it. And she has no relation to Clint there. Their relationship, something as pivotal as that, is just subjected to paragraphs and wikis nowadays. I don't even think they see each other in modern issues anymore. She stays with the inner workings of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Clint sticks with Nat and Bucky. Shit. then there's Kate, the through line through each of the runs, funny enough. She saw Clint as a mentor figure, someone who has her back and she has his, trying to find a name for herself in the middle of it all. Of course, she's lined up to be a team leader for the Avengers now, but she still doesn't know everything. Prone to anger quickly and doesn't know when to shut up, mostly all of that stemming from having to deal with family, but now having to effectively look after Clint so he actually gets out of bed. She's still a kid. She's gonna run. I'm not one to talk about art and aesthetics, but dude, the vibes. The minimalist retro shading and line work are a delight to look at. It's a blend that has come to be unique to this run and has lasted since it ended. I'd say my favorite issue is the Valentine's Day one, mostly because of this one page. I'll let you figure out the rest on your own. If I were to recommend any book to a person who has an interest in comics, this one, right here. Not only because it is good, but you can actually find it. All of the Barnes & Nobles around me have at least one of these in stock in their comic sections, not to mention decently sized comic stores will definitely have this one too. This book will get you to love comics. Oh shit. Clint's baby girl. Anyway, thanks for watching. This was not something I was planning to make content on, but I am having writer's block on what to do next. I'll think of something. Probably get around to something involving Pokemon. Make sure to do all the YouTube things if you want. See you next time.